your boy in a minute. It's been a while. It's been a long summer. You know what I'm saying? Had some things I was doing. Actually, got a lot accomplished this summer. Really did. I got a lot of things accomplished. A lot of things I had to take care of. I got a chance to do that. But, you know, got a lot of things that didn't happen we're going to talk about, right? So, one of the things I want to talk about, man, like, kind of like to help me pass down, because, I got a little quick break here at the job. So, I'm take a little quick break, do this. So, one of the things that helped me pass my time is that I think I was talking about that raid, Shadow Legends. And now they got the mutant, I kind of got off of a minute, but then they brought the Mutant Ninja Turtles in. And I ain't gonna lie, man, the motherfuckers is fun to play with. They threw that bait out there and hooked me back in with that shit, man. That shit is fun to play with, man. Like, it really is. It's kind of fun to play with. So I've been playing with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, whenever I get a chance, I jump on, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. It's dope, man. It's fun. So it's worth the buy. So, you know what I'm saying? If you're looking for like an RPG game to play on your phone to help you pass the time, I know Hero Wars is one, but that Raid Shadow Legends, man, they up their game. And there's a lot you can do where you ain't got to buy shit, right? Now, you're going to grind your ass off, but you ain't got to buy shit, right? You know, but just keep in mind, though, that, man, hey, it's a grind. If you ain't trying to pay for shit, you got to grind, dog, because you're not going to see the results. You're going to see a lot of videos of these motherfucking characters, and you're not going to see the results these motherfuckers in the videos is doing, right? Because they're like at end game. You're at the beginning of it. You know what I'm saying? You're at the fucking beginning, But still, dope ass game, man. I fucking, like I said, I played this bitch. I love that shit, right? So, it is what it is in that front right there. All right, man, so let's talk about a couple things. I know you guys saw what I put it in the list. Like I said, I ain't going to be too long on some of these topics, because some of this shit you can kind of break down in 2 minutes, right? Because, at the top is that Ray Lewis and Shannon Sharpe thing, and, I watched this play out, because I remember when these dudes on the same team and how they was. And it was something that Ray Lewis said, and I'm like, yo, you're being kind of a hypocrite. You're being kind of hypocritical, right? But anyway, so let's get into it. I know you guys heard about, that Gervonta Davis is going to be fighting Jake Paul. Those of y'all that don't know, that's a cash out fight, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a cash out fight. Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul is a cash out fight for Gervonta. Gervonta don't plan on coming back to boxing. He's going to fight Jake Paul, and he's going to ride his ass off into the motherfucking sunset. He ain't coming back. He ain't coming back at all. And that's the thing, like, today's fighters, it's not about best versus best, right? It's not so much even about legacy. Today's fighters is just about getting money, getting paid. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, the sport has changed to where you can get paid without doing a lot, right? A perfect example is Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, right? Ryan Garcia has never fought for a title, right? Never, challenged for a damn title. And he's one of the more popular fighters because of social media. So he gets paid because it's popularity on social media, but it has nothing to do with the fuck this motherfucker's done in the ring. Right? I know he's fought like Luke Campbell. He's fought some people. I ain't saying he ain't fought no. He ain't fought no killers. He ain't fought no top echelon guys. Luke Campbell ain't no top echelon dude, but he showed us something in that fight. Right? So I give him that. He showed us something in that fight, but at the end of the day, it ain't like Ryan Garcia has done something from a accolade standpoint. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Shay? So yeah, so he ain't done that from an accolade standpoint, but he got paid, right? He got paid without getting the accolades. So if you're getting paid, why go for the accolades? And that's going to bring us back to something Eddie Hearn said, right? I'm saying this to say something, getting back to what Eddie Hearn said. Because you got all these guys, Teofimo Lopez. Now, Teofimo Lopez, he went and got the accolade by beating Vasily Lomachenko and was expecting to get paid. It didn't go the way he thought it was going to go, right? So I'm going to get back, this is going to get back to something Eddie Hearn said. Eddie Hearn said that Devin is no longer fighting for legacy. He's fighting for money. Because he said, Devin to say, hey, I want to fight Boots. I want to fight Teofimo Lopez. That's $5, $6, $7 million fights, right? And here's the thing about what Eddie Hearn said that I find so funny and amazing. Number one, since when is Jerron Boots Ennis and Teofimo Lopez not a legacy fight? I don't understand that one. Jerron Boots Ennis was the unified champion at 147 pound and the lineal champion, right? So if Devin fights Jerron Ennis, he would have had a chance to become a 3 division champion. How is that not legacy? I don't understand that. How is fighting a unified champion who is considered the lineal champion too? How is that not a legacy fight? Now you can say he's fighting for money, of course, yes. They're all fighting for fucking money, and Eddie knows that. Because if it's about legacy, then why did Eddie put Anthony Joshua in the ring with Francis Ngannou? Why was he talking about putting Anthony Joshua in the ring with Jake Paul? Like, how does fighting Jake Paul help Anthony Joshua's legacy? I don't understand that. Right? I'm really honestly, I don't understand that. Okay? I remember when Billy Joe Saunders and Colin Smith both held titles in the super middleweight division, they were going to fight each other. And then what happened? Canelo Alvarez came to the division. All of a sudden, they didn't fight each other no more because they knew that they can get money fighting Canelo. Right? And remember, at one point, they even turned down the contract. And what did Eddie say? We don't market value. You can't offer us below market value. Well, if it's about fighters fighting for legacy, Eddie, then you fight Canelo for low money to beat him, then you get the money on the back end. Because all fighters had to do that. Floyd Mayweather had to do that with Oscar De La Hoya. Floyd Mayweather said he said, I had to give Oscar everything. Oscar took 80% of the purse, everything. Because he wanted to beat Oscar to get that legacy. And he did. Canelo Alvarez did the same thing as Miguel Cotto. He took low money to face Miguel Cotto because he's like, hey, I want to build this legacy. And he did. So for Eddie Hearn to say what he said, I'm like, no, that don't make no sense. But then on top of that, though, how is not fighting Teofimo Lopez not a legacy fight? Because right now, Devin Haney is about to fight Brian Norman. Now, Brian Norman by default is considered the best fighter at 147 pounds because Jerron Ennis went up. How is that not a legacy fight? Like, dude is literally fighting for a title. How is that not a legacy fight? Right? Because now it's a point of, okay, on top of the fact that Devin Haney already has his legacy. Devin Haney is a unified champion. I mean, undisputed lightweight champion. Devin Haney went on to become the undisputed lightweight champion. That's legacy. He has his legacy now. He's also a 2-division champion. Okay, well, he has his legacy now. Right? He has the legacy now. So if he can get a fight with a named fighter and pick up the money, what's wrong with that? Because that's actually what boxing is turning to, is it not? Is that not the route that boxing is going? Edgar Berlanga fought no top guy at super middleweight and got a Canelo Alvarez fight. So you telling me that was legacy? Not fighting David Benavidez, but fighting Edgar Berlanga helped Canelo's legacy? So come on, man, stop it, Eddie. Stop it. It's a situation of Devin's no longer with them. And I'm not saying Eddie is salty, but for Eddie is a promoter, and promoter will always say things in a positive light in their defense towards them, right? He's about making money, because if he wasn't about making money, why are you doing fights in Saudi Arabia? You do fights in Saudi Arabia because you know you're going to get paid. Your fighter's going to get paid. That's why you do the fights in Saudi Arabia. I mean, let's keep it real. Why are you doing fights in Saudi Arabia? Like, why are you allowing Turki Al-Sheikh, you know what I'm saying, to dictate the terms of how y'all gonna do fights? Think about it. It's a Turki Al-Sheikh for Eddie Hearn's and Queensberry's Frank Warren to do a 5-on-5. They could have did that a long time ago. They could have did that shit without. They could have, if it was about legacy, you could have did that shit without that. So yeah, at the end of the day, man, it's always about money. Eddie talking about some motherfuckers ain't trying to build their legacy. It's always about money. But every fighter, once they reach a certain point where they feel like, okay, I've done enough to build my legacy, then yeah, they're gonna be looking for big money fights. But to say Devin Haney looking to fight Teofimo Lopez or looking to fight Boots Ennis is not about legacy, it's only about money, is bullshit. Because again, you're talking about guys that have titles, guys that are considered the best fighters during his time right now. So how is that not about building your legacy when you fighting the top guys that's in your era? So I just wanted to get that out there because that shit was crazy to me, right? When he said that shit was wild to me. I couldn't believe I heard that, right? So yeah, and that was crazy to me, man. So we got that, you know what I'm saying? We got that. Take it, we're gonna take care of that. All right. So another thing, man. Like, I truly hope this Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford saves the sport of boxing. I really do. I really hope it saves the sport of boxing. You know, and I'm being dead on serious, man. I truly hope that Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford can save the sport because the sport is it's kind of dying down to me, man. I'm just being real with y'all. Like, I believe, and this is me just talking, I believe Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford, I believe that fight kind of hurt the sport only because of the fact that it was such a dominant performance by Terrence Crawford. He put on such a dominant performance in that fight that it kind of hurt the sport in the aspect of people being excited about watching boxing matches now, right? Because everybody wanted to see, yo, could Earl Spence, what was Earl Spence going to do with Terrence Crawford? Could Crawford, X, Y, and Z. And then as we saw, Terrence Crawford went in and just obliterated Earl Spence. He just went in and obliterated Earl Spence. And to me, I think that's when boxing got hurt because now it's like, well, damn, can we trust what people are saying about these fights? Because this dude went in there in a fight that should have been, I'm not saying nobody didn't think that Terrence Crawford wasn't going to win. I think everybody thought Terrence Crawford was going to win. I just don't think anybody saw that. I don't think anybody saw that, you know what I'm saying, he was gonna do what he did to Earl Spence. I don't think anybody saw that happening. Nobody saw that happening, Jack. Nobody. I don't think anybody saw that happening where he was gonna blow Earl Spence out like that. So that's just one of the things that happened in the sport of boxing. But I'm hoping that this fight with Canelo Alvarez, hold on, because Usyk is champ. It's boring. The thing about Alexander Usyk, in my honest opinion, man, Alexander Usyk should be the face of boxing. Because if you look at the move that Alexander Usyk made, Alexander Usyk fought all the top guys at heavyweight, fought all the top guys at cruiserweight, right? Think about it, man. Alexander Usyk, after beating Tyson Fury a second time, Alexander Usyk could have easily took a chill pill, and when Daniel DeBose got in that ring, he's like, yo, man, bring me that ass. You know what I'm saying? bring me that ass. Right? And that's exactly what he did. And that's what you want. That's what you want your guys, your top fighters to do. So it's gonna be interesting, man. It really is. It's gonna be interesting to see if this fight can live up to, because the hype around the fight kind of died down. So I'm hoping maybe next week when you get close to fight day, it's gonna pick back up. Excuse me, y'all. I'm texting somebody something because they sending me something. Like I said, man, I took a little break here at work. So, but anyway, yeah. So Alexander Usyk should definitely be the face of boxing to me, because if you look at what he's done and how he's moved in the sport, Alexander Usyk has fought the guys that we want him to fight. You know what I'm saying? So, in my honest opinion, he should definitely be the face of the sport of boxing. And that's just me. That's me saying it because that's how I feel. I truly feel like he should be the face of the sport. But somebody said, is UFC bigger than boxing now? You know what, man? That's a good one. That's really a good one. It's hard to say if it's bigger than boxing, because boxing still commands the attention. Boxing still commands a lot of revenue, a lot of eyes. But I will say this: UFC has come a long, long way in the aspect of more people are excited about UFC fights than they are about boxing matches. Because in UFC, you will mess around and get best versus best. Right? So it's hard for me to say it's bigger than boxing. I don't think it's bigger than boxing. It's not, but I don't think it's that far behind either. Right? I really don't think it's that far behind. So another thing I was going to talk about real quick. This is going to be short. It's about As you guys know, the Dallas Cowboys, your boy Bo, that's your boy Bo favorite sport, football. So the Dallas Cowboys let go of Micah, right? They let Micah go, Micah Parsons. And a lot of people upset about they saying that, the Cowboys messed up. They should have kept them and all that. Let me say this. From a financial aspect, I see the move that they made, and here's why. The Dallas Cowboys uh, is a terrible run defense team. You can run on the Dallas Cowboys, right? With Micah Parsons out on the field, opponents was only scoring, I think, about 24, 22 points against them. With him off the field, they were scoring 30 points against him. If you pay Michael Parsons what the going rate is right now, which is the going rate was what over, I think, 40 million a year. So if you pay him the going rate right now, you're going to pay him and not plug your problem. Your problem is you can't stop the goddamn run. Now, getting rid of Micah does not help your defense, to be honest with you, at all, period, because you get rid of your anchor, right? But I understand the aspect of why pay this dude all this money and I'm still going to have a problem stopping the run, right? Now, by trading him, you open up a whole nother goddamn problem, which is your anchor for your defense now, right? Because you're still talking about 10 to 12 sacks a year. You're still talking about high motor, high performance. You're still talking about young still in their prime. You're still talking about a linebacker who can, who is someone that other teams have to plan for when he's out there, right? The problem that you have is Michael Parsons a difference maker. And that's what Jerry Jones said. If I'm paying you this kind of money, you got to be a difference maker if I pay you this kind of money, right? You got to be a difference maker. You got to be that dude that when you out there, you're going to make an impact. You're going to be a difference maker, right? So that's the problem. You ask yourself, when you're going to shell out that kind of money, $40 million a goddamn year, potentially pay somebody, $160 million or $180 million for 4 years, you got to ask yourself that question, which is what Jerry Jones did, right? And the reality is he could probably get 2 guys to replace Michael Parsons in the draft with draft picks, because Dallas do draft pretty good. They do a good job of drafting. Let's keep it a bean. They do a good job of drafting, right? So if you're going to pay this guy this money, and I'm still going to have this problem with this run defense, why do it from a financial standpoint? Now, do I feel it was a bad trade? And honestly speaking, only time will tell if it was a bad trade or not. Only time will tell, because on the defensive side, Dallas was always bad to me. Like, they just were. They were bad, right? So if Parsons go over to Green Bay and they put pieces around him and he dominates, and then Dallas dwindles, which I think they're going to dwindle down, but they dwindle down even further down a rabbit hole, then yeah, we'll look back and say, hey, man, this was a bad deal. You at least should have kept Parsons and built around up a piece of place to stop the run. The problem is, again, when you paying that kind of money, man, you want the dude to be a difference maker. So in my honest opinion, I would not have traded Michael Parsons. But I think the problem that you have is Jerry Jones felt like he should have been able to go to Michael Parsons, make a deal with Michael Parsons, where say, listen, I'm gonna pay you X amount of money, and I need you to take some type of a friendly home deal. And the reality is Jerry Jones waited for Miles. Like, Jerry Jones should have restructured that boy's contract, because once Miles Garrett contract hit, that became the going rate. That became the going rate to pay a linebacker. When Miles Garrett got what he got, that became the going rate. And he's been doing it with Dak forever. He always waits till Dak contract is almost up, and then a new quarterback gets a huge contract. Now you got to pay Dak what the going rate is. And he made that mistake. You waited for Miles Garrett to get that contract, and that was the going rate. Now you got to pay the going fucking rate, dog. Unfortunately, but you should have tried to reconstruct that contract before that shit hit. And you probably could have got Michael Parsons for 35 million a year. You know what I'm saying? Probably could have got him for that, right? But like I said, at the end of the day, that was all about ego, man. He felt Micah Parsons should have gave him, a little handshake deal and been cool with it. And probably like, no, man, you got to go through my agent, because my agent know what the going rate is, and that's what I want. All right, last but not least, man, is that Ray Lewis, Shannon Sharpe beef. Let me make this very, very clear when I say this, because I remember when Shannon Sharpe was in Denver. I remember Shannon Sharpe when he was in Baltimore. I remember Shannon Sharpe when he worked for CBS, when he was on the panel at CBS. Matter of fact, people don't realize he got blackballed after that CBS thing, and he had a little incident with Boomer Esiason. He was going after Brett Favre. He was telling people about Brett Favre long before we even found out about him, right? Shannon Sharpe has always been the way that he is. Ray Lewis said that the money changed Shannon now that he's in that spotlight he's in that media spotlight, he's in that entertaining spotlight that he's in, and he's saying it changed Shannon Sharpe. Because all of now it's cool to jump on Shannon Sharpe. The shit came out about him and the chick and all that, which I never gave a fuck what a motherfucker do with his dick. Really, I don't understand why motherfuckers get mad at that shit. Whatever, all right, whatever. But anyway, and the reality is, if you've been following Shannon Sharpe always been boisterous. Shannon Sharpe always been boisterous. Hell, like I said, that's what got him blackballed at CBS. That's what got him blackballed at CBS, right? Shannon Sharpe Shannon Sharpe didn't do anything that Tiki Barber did. I remember Tiki Barber was giving away what guys was telling him what happens in locker rooms. Well, he didn't do that. What Ray Lewis is doing is he's using this opportunity to get back at Shannon, because people forget when Ray Lewis was going through that murder trial he was going through, Shannon Sharpe had his back. 10 toes down. He held 10 toes. I remember when he walked up in front of the media, talking about this man is, this man is a hard worker, blah, 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 innocent to proven guilty and all of that. I remember that. What Ray Lewis is upset about. Oh, also, let's keep it real. There's an episode, if you guys get a chance, when Ray Lewis went on Undisputed, and they was talking about doing the quarterback switch when they was at Baltimore. And Shannon Sharpe was like, hey, you want to know what I said? And Ray looked over, he said, well, yeah, he was more vocal than everybody about it. He said, what took so long? So he knows this dude is boisterous. What happened was Ray Lewis went on the show. He's talked about never kneeling when doing the Colin Kaepernick situation. He talked about never kneeling. And then all the owners got upset at, the administration talking shit about him. And they all went out there and they all took a knee. Ray Lewis got down on, after going on with Undisputed, Ray Lewis said, I would never take a knee. He goes out there. I think it wasn't even a week later. He took his ass out there. He took his ass out there and got down on both knees, then tried to say he was praying. And Shannon Sharpe, when they went on, Shannon Sharpe called him out on it. Shannon Sharpe called him out on the fact that you told me on live TV, and I'll never forget what he watched. He said, Ray Lewis sat right across from me right in his seat. And Shannon said, this hurts me because Ray is like a brother to me. He said right on his seat and told me he would never take a knee. He went out there and took a knee. And then Shannon said these things on TV. Ray went on ESPN First Take and was like, which is the other channel. He goes, I got Shannon saying, I went against my word. I was praying. If you look at, I was praying. Ray felt Shannon should have had his back in that one. And the reality was, Ray was full of shit. Ray took a fucking knee. That I was praying, everybody saw through that shit, right? It was bullshit. And the reality is, as a man, if me and you are like this right here, and I've talked about how we like brothers, a situation like that, we should have been able to talk about it. I had no problem with Shannon Sharpe calling him out on it, right? Had no problem at all, period, with calling him out, because you know who else called? Because I'm going to tell you somebody that's called Shannon Sharpe out on his shit, which is his brother. Shannon Sharpe's brother has called him out on his shit, right? Shannon Sharpe's own brother has called him out on his shit. On Shannon Sharpe's show. He called him out on his own shit. On his show. I can't remember his brother's name. Sterling Sharpe has called him out on his own shit on his show. And they didn't have a falling out. Ray is using this opportunity right now to get back at Shannon for not having his back with the Kaepernick situation. But the reality is, as a man, when you say what you said about kneeling, you shouldn't even went out there and got down on both knees talking about something I'm praying. Because once you got down on your knee, whether it was one knee or both knees, everybody felt like you went against your fucking word. You can talk that praying shit all you want. He should have just not took his ass out there. Right? So this, what he's saying about Shannon becoming, the money changer. No, Shannon's always been this way. Go back to when he was on Undisputed, the character he played. How he was always doing a character, the GOAT and all that, how he was doing that, right? Look, he's always been. Go and watch the um, Hard Knocks with the Baltimore Ravens. Watch Hard Knocks with Baltimore Ravens. Shannon Sharpe was all over the goddamn place. You know what I'm saying? Shannon Sharpe was go watch Hard Knocks when he was the Baltimore Ravens. Shannon Sharpe was all over the place. He's always been entertaining. He's always been like the highlight of that has been Shannon Sharpe. He is not money has not changed that motherfucker at all. He's been that way, right? That is who he's been. Money does not change anybody. It enhances more of who the fuck you really are, but it does not change you. It just enhances you because money gives you the ability to do more of the shit that you've been wanting to do any goddamn way, right? So at the end of the day, right? Even if Ray feels some kind of way, the fact that like Ray shouldn't even be talking about it because when you was on your murder trial, this motherfucker had your back, right? The only time he said something about you, he didn't say nothing bad. He just said he felt disappointed that you looked him in his face and said you ain't getting down on your knees, and then you went out there and you did it, which the entire fucking world saw. And Shannon Sharpe would have been he'd have been a bitch if after doing that he didn't talk about it. He'd have looked like a bitch. So he had to say something about it. He had to, what you want, right? So he's using this opportunity right now. That's what Shannon's going through. He's using this opportunity right now to get back at dude because he's trying to say, and then he tried to clean up by saying, not just Shannon, a lot of guys when they get in that space, man, shut the fuck up, dog. Like, really, like, shut the fuck up, man, because a lot of football players go into entertainment like Shannon Sharpe has done. They go into media like Shannon Sharpe has done, right? So what he does when he critique and he criticizes, that's not no different than no motherfucking body does when they leave the field and go up in the motherfucking office or they go up onto, they criticize. Because the reason why is they're the best people to criticize something because they played the goddamn sport. They're the best people to give their opinion about something because they played the goddamn sport. Right? So to sit and make it look like he's a different dude, no. He's the same guy that got banned at CBS. He got blackballed because of what he did on CBS. He's the same goddamn dude. He's the same goddamn dude. So that's bullshit, man. That's bullshit. Ray is just using this opportunity to get back at a guy that he felt didn't have his back in the situation that he put himself in. And at the end of the day, if we men, then we should be able to sit down and talk that shit out. And I could tell you, like, Ryan Clark had the perfect explanation for it by saying, I don't agree with everything Shannon has ever said, right? But, you know, he said Ray fell into that trap of piling on Shannon now that he has all these issues going on. And the reality is, yes, Shannon lost his contract with ESPN because of the shit he went through. You know, I think people say it cost him $100 million because he had a contract with him. But where is Shannon really hurting at? Because he still has his nightcap show. That shit is still going on. That ain't stopped him there. He still has his Club Shay Shay where people come on. Even after this shit that he went through, he's still dropping his Club Shay Shay. Right? He's still dropping that shit. That's not hurting him. He's still getting them interviews. That's not hurting him. Right? And we, come on, man, we all know how sex scandals go, man. We all know how sex scandals go. After a while, that shit passes and motherfuckers come back around and they love you again. They give you all the money. They give you all the sponsors. He still got his Shea by Laportier. He still got all that. What up, my man Kendrick? Right, right. What up, Proven? I got down on both knees. I never forgot that sucker shit. Exactly, man. So, you know, that's what it is. But, yeah, so, man, it's your boy Bo. You know, be looking for the, somebody asked him about Three Kings. Yeah, man. We're gonna try to do a show leading up to the fight because we got a lot we want to say about that. Well, somebody put that in there, rooting for Pickens, but as a Steeler fan, is bumped out. I hear y'all, man. That's what's up. But yeah, I just wanted to do that real quick. Like I said, quick 30-minute one. All right, but I'm gonna get on up off of here, man. Your boy Bo. I'm gonna try to do one more, probably, you know, over the weekend. Do something early afternoon because, like I said, I've been working because I got a lot of things I've been doing. I got a lot of things I accomplished, right? But all right, man, I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Hey, hey, man. 2025, summer's over. Hope everybody stay safe and stay blessed.